CM Punk is the biggest babyface in a company he's not even signed to.
Chills.
And AEW turning into a Rubik's Cube of a wrestling company, where no matter how many times they try to put a spin on a story, they just get it all wrong. AEW has tricked itself off these streets in a situation that they refuse to move on from. And we have to talk about why this is a W for CM Punk and how Tony Khan has become incompetent, all while taking the Young Bucks down in flames with him. Subscribe in Swahili. It's almost 20,000 time. CM Punk went on Ariel Helwani's joint and said he didn't punch anybody. He just
choked somebody a little bit.
That's all the hell I saw. What's the problem? This wasn't security footage from AEW. This was insecurity footage. It's one thing if CM Punk was talking about how he beat Jack Perry within an inch of his life and he broke Perry's arm and broke Perry's leg and pulled Perry's arm out the socket like it's a Hangman action figure on the shelf. The footage AEW showed tonight would have made CM Punk look like a fabricator. But AEW did the opposite. They showed footage that looked just as CM Punk described it, if not a little worse. Punk underplayed how much he roughed up Jack Perry, and it's because AEW chose to air that footage that should have never seen the light of day.
Someday I'm gonna kick your ass.
The prophecy has come true.
Did AEW not hear CM Punk say he loves the gimmick of being perceived as crazy in real life? Like a Bruiser Brody type? Well, by airing footage of CM Punk pulling up on Perry IRL, Punk looks like the Bruiser Brody type. A badass in a badass's business who doesn't take no shit and is not to be trifled with. That's what I learned watching Dynamite. Because this shithead company can't tell a story without any of its talent getting over except the one who left back in August. AEW tried to use this whole backstage incident as a storyline, but they had the babyfaces FTR call out the EVPs by telling them to literally get over it. God, if a segment ever needed a "This is awkward" chant, it was the one where FTR told the Young Bucks in the AEW locker room to just move on from Cousin Phil. That's the storyline. That's the literal storyline, is the Young Bucks can't stop talking about CM Punk, even though Punk moved on months ago. Because this company can't tell a story without making it painfully close to real life.
Get some help.
The only person who got over in this entire publicity stunt was CM Punk. Just days after he was featured on the biggest WrestleMania of all time in one of its greatest moments. Just days after he closed out Monday Night Raw. AEW is giving WWE more fuel to a fire that has gone scorched earth on Jacksonville since the day Cody Rhodes left, back in Black History Month 2022. Bad Tony. If this were ever going to be done, you don't wait until CM Punk has been a main character in WWE's biggest show ever. You do it immediately after Punk goozled Perry, when the story is still boiling hot and AEW has control of the narrative, no EC3. You do it while you still have CM Punk on ice and under contract with AEW. This was the choke job of all choke jobs, and Tony Schiavone became the new meme for when people go, "This guy." Bad Tony. Con, Tony Schiavone, we all feel your pain, brother. The timing here is impeccable. WWE just had its greatest WrestleMania ever, and the culmination of the two greatest stories it's ever told in the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes' story. I'll talk all about it soon in our upcoming Cody Rhodes documentary, which is about to be lit. But in the same week WWE aired its greatest WrestleMania ever, AEW aired its worst storyline ever, straight out of WCW 2000 with a gimmick tailor-made for the internet wrestling crowd. An angle that served no purpose other than to lionize AEW's biggest op to its own fan base. The 13 people who decided to show up to Charleston, West Virginia Wednesday night were chanting for CM Punk. You don't gotta believe me or the MMA Hour. Cut to the AEW footage and see for yourself. Why are they putting CM Punk over? It's like AEW doesn't know who their enemies are.
And he's just like, well, if you got a problem about it, do something about it. And I was just like, man, come on, man. You know, kill you.
Lucky for me, I know who my friends are, and that's today's partner, Friendly TV. If you're watching this, you're a wrestling fan. And my favorite type of wrestling fan, by the way, because you subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. Like me, you enjoy wrestling content like documentaries and behind-the-scenes stories, like the Pipe Bomb Problem, our CM Punk documentary, which was named the greatest wrestling documentary of all time by Alfred Konuwa. And now you can get even more TV wrestling content with our affiliate, Friendly TV. Friendly TV is the most affordable streaming service in America, starting at only $6.99 per month, billed annually. And in addition to over 40 top-rated live TV networks, you can watch Dark Side of the Ring, which just premiered season 5, Biography, WWE Legends, and WWE Rivals. I signed up for the 7-day free trial of Friendly, and I'm keeping it because it has all my favorite wrestling content all in one place, all for the most affordable price in these United States. Right now, you can try Friendly for free by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code. If you're an avid wrestling fan who enjoys docuseries about this art, Friendly is your friend, and so am I. Worst of all, as I predicted earlier this week on the Shorts feed, Tony Khan now looks like even more of a coward. Based on what we already knew, before even seeing this footage, Tony Khan was eviscerated for saying he feared for his life last year doing All In. Now that we've seen the footage, Jack Perry shouldn't have been fearing for his life, let alone Tony Khan. CM Punk brawling with Perry is how every older brother fights his younger brother. If those two were Khan's actual children, they'd be put up for adoption because of how scared Tony Khan is on brief skirmishes that last for less than 30 seconds. As bad of a McMahon as he was, Vince McMahon was the most successful wrestling promoter of all time. Two things I do not think are mutually exclusive, but that's another conversation for another day. Anyway, one of McMahon's better philosophies was to never tease a match that's not gonna happen. Whether the Young Bucks know it or not, that's exactly what they did by airing the CM Punk footage. The more AEW plays with this Phil Brooks fire, the more casual fans will be convinced CM Punk is showing up. That means more CM Punk chants on TV when the Young Bucks are on camera. And when there's no Punk, the fans will just seek him out themselves in WWE. And on Netflix eventually. I don't remember the last time I heard a Young Bucks chant in WWE. I was in the building for WrestleMania 40 when WWE actually showed the Young Bucks with Cody on a Jumbotron, and nobody batted a Nick Jackson black eye. I watched CM Punk in WWE and think about how good he is under real leadership. I watched CM Punk's real-life footage on AEW and understand why he parted ways with such a leaderless company. This is bad, real bad. I don't care how much money Tony Khan has for free agents and paying AEW bills and what's left of his clout. Plenty of wrestling companies have been able to pour money into the living dead, but being cool cannot be bought. Just ask Scott Dissick. To add insult to injury, CM Punk posted a mission accomplished sign, of course on IG stories, a reference to George W. Bush lying about the end of the Iraq War. AEW is out here struggling, putting over its ops, and this is indefensible for Tony Khan. None of the fallout or the backlash for AEW's decision to air real-life footage of the Brawl In is a surprise. The only surprise is the fact that AEW actually decided to take this footage to the streets. This is being recorded before AEW press secretary Dave Meltzer gives his next press conference, but even that MFer cannot defend this. AEW is tearing down its own company just days before they finally put the strap on a black man. Then watch them blame Swerve when they can't draw. Check out this video about CM Punk and Jack Perry's feud and subscribe. Why is Tony Khan such a walking message board? Tell me in the comments.